What's going on, everyone? So, I have been very critical about Scream 5 and 6. I don't think that they were terrible movies or anything like that, but they were not my favorite, right? Scream 5 was essentially a carbon copy of Scream 96. I mean, Radio Silence and all of them literally said, like, this was a fan film. This was a homage to Wes Craven. We were trying to, make it, resemble that to an extent. Okay, fine. Got it. Then we get to Scream 6. And Scream 6, I love the Ghostface, the tactical Ghostface, right? Had some nice scenes, had some nice moments. But at the end of the day, right, like nobody died, right? Radio Silence said that they didn't want to go out in a bad way. They wanted to, have it end on a good note. This is a horror slasher movie. Look, I love Radio Silence. I was super stoked and excited, but no one's above criticism, right? Like, that was a terrible idea. This is a slasher film. This is a horror franchise. Like, bodies are supposed to fall. People are supposed to die. You can have a happy ending and still kill people, right? Like, you did. You killed them all on camera, and then at the end of the movie, we're like, just kidding. Gotcha, psych. You thought Chad died? Oh, stop. Oh, you thought Gail died? Oh, no. Don't worry. Mindy's about to tell you in a second off camera, right? Like, it's like, what are we doing? I did think, though, Scream 5 and 6 did do some things right. I did think that the darker tones, Ghostface in general, I thought was much better executed, right? Kind of look at the history of Scream. Ghostface can be a little clumsy, little days go, right? Like, that's why Scary Movie's hilarious. Like, should quit drinking, right? Type thing, right? Because it was like, Ghostface always stumbling over his own feet or, getting knocked out or whatever, right? Like, it's just, it's not this like brutal, like, go in, get it done, get out type thing, right? But you saw in Scream 5, all the kills were these surprise kills, right? Vince and, Judy and, even Wes and all these, like, it was Ghostface just kind of getting in, getting out. The only one that they played with their food was Tara, but that was purposeful, right? They wanted Tara to survive so that way they could use her to lure Sam and boom, all of that, right? So that made sense. To me, I've talked about, like, if you could take Scream 5's Ghostface, Scream 6 Ghostface, and kind of marry them, right? I think you'd have the perfect Ghostface, right? Have this just, like, brutal, no-nonsense, get in, get out Ghostface with the tactical, kind of militant type of Ghostface. I think you'd have an excellent Scream film with dark brutality, right? So, again, I do think Scream 5 and 6 did some great things. I do think that there were some cool things in Scream 6. Like, again, I don't think that they were terrible movies, but I didn't like some of the writing and direction. Like, the character development was terrible. Like, there was a lot of things about it that I've been very critical with. I'm not going to get into all of it because I have videos about it. So if you're interested in some of those things, go check out those videos. But now that Kevin Williamson is at the helm, I do have some concerns and reservations just because he only has one directing credit on him. But he has the vision. He's always had the vision. I mean, he created the franchise, right? Like, he knows these characters, and you're doing a Sydney film, and you're going to have Gail back and all that stuff. So, like, these are his brainchildren, right? This is where he really shines and is going to be able to do the things that you want to see Scream do, right? And he's going to have a voice, I imagine, in the writing room. I don't know how much. I don't know if he's going to be able to come in and just be like, yeah, no, we're not doing this. Rewrite this. This is how I want you. Like, I don't know how much power and how much say he's going to actually have in this upcoming Scream movie, but I do imagine he's going to have a pretty good amount. And, even bad writing can, to some degree, with good directing and good kind of layout and vision, be kind of course corrected, right? Not always, right? Not entirely, but sometimes you see things written on paper and you're like that. How do you do that? Like, that sounds stupid, right? Like, most things in movies, I'm sure if you just read it on paper, you're like, wait, what? All right. But then you actually see the execution. You actually see the vision and the direction and, the framing and all those things, right? And you're like, I get it. That was great. That's what, this is or that is or whatever. Right? Like, those are the kind of things that good visionaries, good direction can really change. Wes Craven was great at like, certain shots or certain angles or getting, a key thing like, okay, we need to do this here, right? You saw like there's tons of behind the scenes videos and footage of it. And you see him constantly like, hey, what about this? Taking, listening to the actors and actresses. Okay, yeah, okay. Like that's a good idea. Let's do this, right? Like, and just working in a collective frame. All you heard this entire filming process was how great Kevin Williamson was, how great of a director he was, how he cried and was emotional every day. Kevin Williamson himself talked about it like, yeah, dude, like I was an emotional wreck because, he's passionate. He has the love for it. I mean, that's his baby. It's his brainchild. And he came full circle and now is not only did he write the franchise, create the franchise, now he's directing it. He's taking the reins from Wes Craven and stuff, right? Like, I'm sure that there is an emotional element to it, right? And I love to hear all of just the conversation that was coming out about Kevin Williamson as a director, right? And how he was vocal and he was listening and he was taking input and he was listening, especially, like Neve Campbell and Courtney Cox and stuff like that, right? Like, they know their characters better than anybody, right? Because they've played them the last 30 years, right? So, like, if anyone knows those characters and what they would and wouldn't do, it is the actresses that have played them for the last 30 years. So, it should be that collective effort. Kevin Williamson should be, willing to listen and hear and, okay, yeah, like let's try that. Let's do that, right? Like, and it gives me hope, right? It gives me some excitement. Again, obviously, I don't know how much writing he had and how much he was able to change and correct and, if there was any input and this, that, and the other, whatever, right? Because there's a lot of moving components, a lot of moving parts. You wish things were as black and white as like, hey, let's collectively together write this script and then, let's collectively together direct. Like, it doesn't work that way, right? Like, guy is putting together his script and doing what he wants to do. I'm sure Kevin Williamson can make some notes, but he's not going to rewrite the whole script if Kevin Williamson doesn't like it, right? Like, and you're always going to get kind of the fluff. Like, whoever comes out before a movie and is like, nah, the writing and directing was trash, right? Like, you never hear that. Like, even if it was, you usually hear about all the bad stuff later, right? Like, but in the moment, you don't hear like, yeah, like no one's going to be like, oh, Kevin Williamson was a terrible director. He had no idea what he was doing, right? Like, you're not going to hear that. You're going to hear like, yeah, he was great. I loved it, right? Like, best director I ever had, right? Like, it's just, you get the, the PC answers or the PC, responses and stuff, which, but I do have a lot of faith in Kevin Williamson. I do think that he genuinely has the potential to right the ship in many ways for this franchise, and I'm really excited and looking forward to it, like genuinely. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel with your thoughts? Agree with me? Disagree with me? Kind of mixed in the middle. How do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are. Either way, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.